Live. Lives, like doing the lives of the boys.
Live.
This is
TikTok lives.
This is my manager.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Just doing our social media content.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
And how is everyone affiliated to this address?
No one's affiliated to this address. No one lives here. Henry doesn't live here. I don't live here. Like, we just do our content here.
Oh.
It's come around so quick, eh? Wow. Can't believe it, eh? Uzo. What's up, Uzo? Wow, I can't believe it's only 3 weeks away. Wow. Up the go. Oh, man. Mate, power's out everywhere, in every area. All the power is out. Yeah, Underworld. At Bonbon. What's Bonbon, so? Jamstar, my man. Yo. It is what it is with Triggz. Nah, I got grabbed yesterday. Yeah, Will, my man. Classic. But also, what's Bonbon? See your dad at Bonbon. What's Bonbon? JTL, my man. Hey, how are you, beautiful? My wife is on my live. Yeah, my dad was a mechanic, so Mrs. Hey, who else's power is out? What area is everyone from? Whoever's from Sydney, is your power out? Mate, all my power's out. Apparently the whole area. Dude. I was supposed to go live from my PC, but no good. Yeah, I appreciate it, Tangane. It was expected, but it is what it is. 67 on top. Oh, prestige also. Power's working good there. I don't know what's going on. Mate, I showed up. All I know of 3 areas, the power's all full down, eh? I'm sitting around here. Hey, music, no nothing. Oh no. Alright. My love and respects to the family that was trying to help me get internet. I don't know what's going on with my internet, I swear. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, so pretty much yesterday, in the morning, I left for the gym at 4 a.m. I got up at 4 a.m. I was ready by 4:30 a.m. Jetted off to the gym. It takes me half an hour to get there. 5 a.m. I got to the gym, and then me and my partner and a mate started training. Had our hour and a bit session, and then I walked out first. And when I got outside, I was standing there, and all I saw was like heaps of cop cars just driving in. And it was funny because I had walked and they had drove in, but they all the police drove in to where the car park was. So anyone that goes to the gym, all of them park at that car park. But for some dumb reason, I went and parked on the other side because I drove past the car park, you know. So I had parked on the separate side. So if they were there for me, which I'm assuming they were, because they've been trying to track me down for a while now, you know, and my people, every time the police confronted my people about where I am, my people were like, you have his phone number, yeah? You can call him, you don't need to come and see us. And yeah, my parole officer has my number, and the police have my number, but they never called me once. You know, I could have just turned up and spoken to them, but I think the way the police deal with it is they just want to pop up with the element of surprise, you know, like try to catch you doing wrong. So it's understandable, you know. But what happened was, as I was walking out, all the police drove in, but they drove into where the car park was, and then I saw a few of them jumping out, and I jumped in my car and I drove past them as they were all trying to get out of the car. So that was number one in the morning yesterday. Number two, I was at a meeting in an area near Fairfield, and our car was parked up, and I was chatting away to the person that I was having a meeting with. And for some reason, I cut the meeting short, and I was like, listen, I really need to jet off because I have to drop my wife off to the airport. And then they were like, yeah, all good. And I knew that I could have been another half an hour, but I just didn't want my wife to be late to the airport. So I closed up the meeting and I left, yeah. And I went to the car, and me and my brother and the boys drove off. As we drove out, boom, all I seen was Raptor forward drive and police cars all behind them. So the same thing happened. We were at the lights, they were at the lights, and then we pretty much just drove past each other. And so, like, it was a bit weird. I was like, how did I see a whole heap of freaking task force this morning, and now come midday I'm seeing a whole heap of freaking Raptor and task force again? And I was like, fuck, is this a coincidence or what? You know, like I was thinking to myself, if they want to search me, I have no issue with that, but far out, this thing feels like it's hang on a sec, guys. Yeah, let's get back to what I was talking about. So, you know, when I got freaking pulled over yesterday, so remember, I said to you, the cops turned up in like freaking 7 cars in the morning. Didn't catch me because I had just left as they came in. The second one, midday, cops came as I was leaving again. I don't know if it was for me or not, but is it a coincidence that there's that many freaking cop cars? It's no freaking coincidence. Like, yeah, cop cars would go in big numbers if there's a situation going on. But you know, to have them turn up with multiple freaking cars and fully packed out, like we could see the actual police that was in the cars, you know, so that's what was like confusing. It was like, man, is this a coincidence or are they coming for me? I didn't think nothing of it because I was like, I don't have nothing to hide, so what am I? So I don't need to worry. You know what I mean? They drove past and I headed off to catch up with some friends. My meeting my last meeting ended up happening over there before my wife turned up because I had to take her to the airport. Then I got to the airport. And as I drove into the domestic airport, I looked in my rearview mirror and I seen just like heaps of cop cars behind me. And I thought to myself, I think this is it. I think they're going to pull me over and do a FBO search on me. For those of you who don't know what an FBO search is, it's Firearms Prohibition Order. Means they can search me wherever, doesn't matter what I'm doing, doesn't matter if I'm being a good boy. It's their right, you know, like whatever rubbish I was involved in the past, this is the reason why they're allowed to do whatever to me, you know. And this is why I keep explaining to all the younger generation out there that you have to guard your credibility, and you have to guard your life history, because once you have a criminal record, that's it. Don't complain when they come kicking your door down. It is what it is. And that's what happened to me yesterday, you know, like I seen it coming. But let's get back to what happened. So what happened, after we went past those 2 cop situations, we got to the city, and then I looked at my rear mirror and my wife was on my side, and she was saying to me, hey, don't forget to indicate, because we had to go right. And anyway, long story short, I indicated, went right. We went down the domestic hill, and as we were coming, we had to go up because she was flying out on Virgin. But before I got up, the siren started going off, and I seen it straight away. And then there was like a little alleyway part, and I thought to myself, you know what? If I stop right here, it's going to stop traffic. I might as well veer over to the right, get out of everyone's way here. So boom, I veered over to the right, and I stopped the car. When I stopped the car, I looked at the rear mirror, and I thought that they were actually going to come and say to me, hey Pete, we're here to serve you with a FBO order. Can you step outside so we can search the car and search you? Obviously, they can search me wherever I am. And guess what happened? Instead of that, I was sitting there waiting for them to come. And then all I heard was, Boysu, get out of the car. Move to the middle of the road and put your hands in the air. And I was like, what? I was actually like confused because I heard a speaker and I was like, wait, is that for me? Then I heard my name again. I went like this and I turned around to have a look. And when I turned around, all these guys were just facing their guns at me like this. And I was like, what the? I looked at my wife and I was like, do you see what's going on there? And she was like, oh my gosh, like that. And I said, are these guys serious? Anyway, I opened up the door. As I opened up the door, I looked outside and they were like, step out of the vehicle and step to the middle of the road, like that. So I jumped out of the vehicle and then I faced them. And when I was facing them, I was like, what's going on, like that? And then he yelled at me and he was like, I said step to the middle of the road, put your hands up, face your back to us. And I was like, wait, are you talking to me or are you talking to me and my wife? And then, I don't know, I must have upset him or he was trying to prove his self-worth to his superiors, obviously because his superiors were watching on. And he just freaking blasted me as soon as I said, are you talking to me and my wife or just me? And he goes, I said turn around and get to the middle of the road and put your hands there. And I don't know what happened to me, but I just clicked there and then I just yelled at him, and I was like, are you talking to me or are you talking to me and my wife? And because I yelled so loud, he ended up saying on his speaker, I'm talking to only you. And I was like, oh, all right then, if you're only talking to me, sweet. So I looked at my wife, I said, you good? She said, yeah, and then I closed the door. And then I walked to the middle of the road. And when I walked to the middle of the road, he was like, turn around. So I turned around and then he said to me, put your hands in the air and get on your knees. And I was like, I'm not getting on my fucking knees. My knees hurting. I'm freaking old, And I go, I'm not getting on my knees. And then he's like, I said, put your hands in the air and get on your knees like that. And then I just turned around and I was like, listen, if you want to search me, then search me. Handcuff me and search me. What's with the movie? And he was like, I said, put your hands in the air. You know this guy? He was screaming so loud at me. And I was like, bro, like, what is your issue? Like, he was screaming so loud, love you, yeah, thank you very much. He was screaming so loud that I was like, what's the hell is wrong with this guy? Anyway, what happened was, when he was screaming at me and going off, saying to me to put my hands up in the air and get on my knees, I got frustrated because I didn't understand what was the big fuss. Like, I knew I had to get searched. I knew I had to do what I was being told. But I had a worried wife inside the car because they were pulling guns on me, Like, I was thinking, hang on a sec, why am I getting guns put on me? Like, I'm not a terrorist, I didn't commit an armed rob. I'm not a drug dealer, so what's going on here, And when they had it at me, I thought, stuff this, and I turned around, I faced them while they had their guns at me, like, and I said, what's the problem? I said, come over here and handcuff me and stop yelling at me, and then he just went off more, and because he got louder, it frustrated me, so I started swearing and going off, and the way I went off was because I just wanted them to get their routine over and done with, without all the movies, because everyone at the airport that was coming and going was just watching me going off and them going off, and I was like yelling, saying, get effed, I'm not getting on my knees, just come here and handcuff me and let's get this over and done with, like, what's with all the yelling, and then because I started swearing and it seemed like the old Triggz was coming back, where I was being that old violent guy. The police officer, Nastia, appreciate you, thank you very much. They ended up saying, all right, just turn around. Nastia, appreciate you, love you, thank you very much. They said, can you just turn around, put your hands behind your back and walk backwards. So remember, for about at least a good 3 minutes, the yelling from him was just like, it was beyond threatening. Like, the way he was yelling, it was like, mate, I just committed murder and he had to take me down before I did another one. That's how it seemed to me. That's how threatening it came across to me, because I was like, wow, they must have the wrong bloke, the way this guy's yelling at me, Anyway, I put my hand behind my back, and then I started walking backwards, yeah? And when I walked backwards towards him, the other officer handcuffed me. I was all good, like, I don't mind, like, I know that I have to get searched, so it's, do what you got to do. But as soon as they handcuffed me, my wife, she jumped out of the car, and I heard her say, "Is everything okay? Like, what's going on?" And then the cop was like, "Turn around and face the other way." And she was like, "I beg your pardon?" They're like, "Turn around and face the other way." They full yelled at her. And then I said, "Oi, take it easy, mate. It's a pregnant lady, you know." And then he yelled at my wife again. He goes, "Turn your phone off. Turn your phone off now." And I know that the law states my wife doesn't have to turn her phone off. You're allowed to record, yeah? But I didn't want my wife being touched. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to speak up. So I yelled out to her, "Babe, turn your phone off and put it on the ground," you know? And then she looked at me and she was like, "Okay." Because one of the things that my wife knows very, very well is that she has every right to film if police turn up and harass her, you know? Because for those of you who don't know, when I was locked up in prison, my wife was constantly getting harassed by police. What the police said when they used to harass her was, "Do you have any large amounts of money inside your car?" And she was like, "No." They go, "All right, get out of the car." And they would search her. Right now, my wife and I were taking the police to court over something that happened while I was inside prison. What happened when I was in prison was they took my wife and my cousin out of the car for searches. And obviously my wife is used to it, yeah? But when they took him out, it was full hot as, yeah, like the sun was blazing. And my wife, like, she gets easily stressed in the heat. Even when she goes to the beach, she won't go and sit in the sun. She'll sit under the shade. I'm the same as my wife, you know? And that day, the police took her out, yeah? And they left her in the heat for over an hour, all right? My cousin was going off his head. Like, he was going, "Bro, she needs water. What the hell's wrong with you? Let us go. Let me take her to the shade." They full wouldn't let my wife go under the shade. They turned the car inside out, yeah? Searched everything, searched my cousin, and then they called a female officer to come and pat my wife down. So a lot of yous who think that my wife just sat around and waited for me for 10 years and then waited for me for 7 years. No, she didn't just wait around. She actually put up with a lot. Through all the time that I served inside prison, this is what my wife was copying because of me, because of my name, because of my reputation. And this is the reason why my wife wasn't easily shocked when those cops pulled guns out on me, because she had been through this situation at a lower scale, obviously, time and time again, you know. And I remember calling up that day and I was going off my head at my cousin, because as soon as my wife told me that she was in the sun for over an hour and she needs to lie down, I told my cousin straight away, take her to the hospital. Took her to the hospital. She had like a heat stroke, yeah? Because the freaking cops left her in the sun and these dogs wouldn't let her go into the shade, yeah? And this is the reason why, like, we're in the middle of doing all the logistics on how we can sue the police for what happened to her that day. Like, she ended up in hospital and they didn't even care. They had no care whatsoever. Even though my cousin was going off, they threatened to lock him up. He was on parole. So if he had uttered a profanity, like within a second, they would have handcuffed him and chucked him straight in prison. So my wife was the one who was calming my cousin down, at the same time putting up with the friggin' blazing sun, and at the same time putting up with the cops going through our car. Now, we had some legal paperwork in there, yeah? The legal paperwork that was inside the car was for entertainment stuff that we had going on. All of you already know that we're trying to put together a series and a movie and a docu-series, yeah? And the legal papers in there, it's for those of you who don't know, police are not allowed to touch or look at any legal paperwork that you have on you, yeah? Legal privilege. If it says legal privilege on your paperwork, the police are not allowed to open it up. They're not even allowed to have a little sneak peek, yeah? What did the cops do? As soon as they realized there was no cameras on my wife's car, they opened it up and they started taking photos. They started taking photos of her legal paperwork. Now, let me explain something to you guys. The reason why the cops were taking photos of the paperwork is because they wanted to know what we were up to, because we were filming a lot of stuff that concerned corrupt police. So not once did any of the filming my team do in the last 4 years concern hate. Hang on a sec, guys. I got a puzzle up. All right, we're not AI. We're still Team Triggz. Let's go. All right. Not once did what's called? Did it ever concern what was I freaking saying?
Talk about the legal documents.
Yeah.
About we didn't film anything with hate about the
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mo. So thank you very much. So there was never any hate towards police in all the filming that we did in 4 years, yeah? Not once. The only thing that we were going hard on was corrupt police. Obviously, because all of you guys know, when I got arrested, the police reneged on a deal that they had already agreed to, yeah? And there was a big event that happened at Wollongong, and it had my family, the Ibrahim family was supporting as well, and other underworld families were supporting my event as well, you know, so everyone turned up there. I'm going to tell you all about this story afterwards, because this was a big, massive hit from the task force on my team. That was like full unnecessary. And when I say big hit, like everything was legit that day. There was even a restaurant, God love this restaurant owner, who got told by the police, shut these guys down, they're underworld figures, don't let them film here. Who the hell do they think coming up to Wollongong throwing their weight around? We weren't trying to throw our weight around, we were filming a docu-series, and the docu-series was based on my wife and I, how she stuck by me through thick and thin, but also all the gang-related stuff that was going on in Sydney, Melbourne and Queensland and Perth, but also we were highlighting corrupt police, you know, and corrupt acts. So when the police said this to the restaurant owner to shut us down, this restaurant owner, I swear to you, he turned around and he goes to the cops, look, do I have a right to say yes or no? And the cop was like, yeah, you do. And he goes, well then I want to allow them to eat at my restaurant and film. Is that all right with you guys? And the cop was like, yeah, but we're advising you not to. And he goes, yeah, but it's not anything illegal. Like, they're filming for a good cause, and I want my restaurant to be a part of their film. So if it was all right with you guys, I want to, you know, stick to the contract that I had with them, you know. So the cops were like, all right, do what you want. The cops were friggin' dirty when this restaurant owner said to them that he wasn't going to kick us out. And then when a team of luxury cars, like when I say luxury, there were so many luxury cars that headed up towards Wollongong, we didn't even know what was going to hit us. There you go. They got pulled over 3 times, yeah? I'm going to tell this story in full afterwards, but to cut a long story short, this is all the filming that we were doing, and all this is on camera. Yes, my man who just wrote on here, the Blue Lagoon, you guys, this restaurant was the one that allowed us to go there. And before they even reached the Blue Lagoon restaurant, boom, task force came from everywhere. And guess what's the funniest thing? Out of every freaking police officer that was there, yeah, all heavy hitter police officers that were there, yeah, there was literally only probably about 4 Wollongong cops there. The rest all came from Sydney, and they made this big freaking scene, like they were taking down a big drug lord gang, you know, like, bro, it was so annoying. Like, I'll explain everything thoroughly after, but going back to what I was speaking about, my wife has been through a lot when it comes to corrupt acts from police officers, yeah. And what happened yesterday, it wasn't a corrupt act. They're allowed to do that to me, search me wherever I am because of the FBI order. And like I always say to the younger generation, when you live this type of life, you better prepare for the consequences. CT. And that's what happened to me yesterday. That's the consequence that I have to live with for the rest of my life because that FBI order is stuck on me. I don't even know how to take it off. You know, it's on the system, and they can do whatever they want to me. But let me tell you something funny, yeah? Remember how I told you guys my wife kept getting pulled over? Now, I know, I know a lot of people out there is going to be thinking, hang on a sec, who's Triggz talking about? Who's Triggz talking about? I don't know. I shouldn't even be mentioning this, but I don't care, you know, like at the end of the day, no one's going to get harmed from it. So F it, I'm going to say it how it is. So this is what happened, yeah? So when I got locked up, my wife came down to Sydney to support me, and her parents, from their love, not like having their daughter move away from home for the first time ever in her life, it was something massive, you know. Like they have never let her out of their sight ever. But she cried her eyes out when I got locked up, and then obviously her mom had to have a chat with dad and explain to them to dad that you know she's old enough to stand on her own 2 feet. Maybe give it a chance, like see how it goes. At the end of the day, we're her parents, and if we wanted to come back, she'll come back, you know. But she was crying so much every single day that her parents couldn't put up with their daughter crying so much. So the dad and her dad and mom ended up giving her permission to move to my house in Sydney and support me while I was going through my trials and tribulations. For those of you who don't know, I just got out of prison. Rose, thank you. And I just finished 7 years. And what happened was when my wife moved down, she didn't realize the type of reputation that I had with the police until she started getting pulled over and harassed, not only by the police, but also by the officers that work inside prisons that would harass my wife every single time she came to visits. But the gist of what I'm saying is what I shouldn't be saying, but I really don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway because it's not gonna harm anyone. Is when she moved down, yeah, she didn't really know much about what I got up to. Actually, she didn't know nothing about what I got up to. She just knew that I ran a lot of businesses. But she moved into my house, and obviously, like everything that belonged to me now belonged to her. I gave her my cars, I gave her my house, and she lived well, you know. And her dad was worried about her, so he flew down to Sydney to check up on her, to make sure that she was okay. He was a bit shocked that she was living the way she was living, and that's when obviously the parents were happy for her to stay because they knew that she was living well. If dad had come down and she wasn't living good, he would have told her straight away to go back because her dad is a very strong-willed man and he won't put up with nothing, you know. Especially people like myself, he won't put up with me either and my rubbish. So the thing that I'm going to bring up is there was a lot of rumors going around that I had all these millions of dollars hidden away. The police were the ones that started this rumor, yeah? They were the ones that said that apparently I had $40 million hidden away. And they even said it to me at Crimes Commission, mate, even if you do time by you, when you get out, you're going to live like a king, you know? We already know about your little $40 million you got hidden away. And I was like, hang on a sec. If I had $40 million, mate, I wouldn't be freaking trying to be a gangster. If I had $40 million, I'd go live like a king and live like a king, you know? I got no $40 million. Then it clicked on. I was like, hang on a sec. I think these guys are talking about evidence that they had on me, which was something I had said over a text message. And when I was talking about these millions of dollars, appreciate you, Wade, I wasn't talking about myself. I was actually talking about my brother, Mikhail. So the police had got it confused, you know, and then they assumed I was going to get out of prison and live like a king. But because of these assumptions that the police had on me, That's the reason why, Rose, appreciate you. That's the reason why my wife was always getting pulled over. Now listen to this, yeah? She kept getting pulled over, and the first thing the police would always ask is, have you got any large amounts of money in the car? And she didn't understand, like, why they keep asking me for large amounts of money. She'll say no, and then they'll search. And I'm telling you, like, when I say search, she was freaking getting searched at least 3 times a week. Friggin' for about 6 months straight. And then after that, they calmed down a little bit, but she was getting searched at least twice a month for about the next 3 years after that. Like, it's beyond me how they could treat her like that, because when I was inside prison, she's never had a criminal record. She's never been in trouble from the police, and I was thinking to myself, why is this happening to my wife? And guess what happened? When my wife moved into my house, there was a lot of jealous people in our circle. Not my circle. There was a lot of jealous people in her circle, yeah? They were talking rubbish about me. They didn't want her to stick by me while I was inside prison. They didn't want her to be living well the way she was living, because who the hell does she think she is? She came from Woodridge, Brisbane, yeah? And all this hate that was going towards my wife was mainly friends and family from her side, all right? And she would cry to me and say to me, I don't understand. I'm not getting any support from those that I love most. Like, they're all just telling me to leave you. And I was like, well, it's your family, like, if it's your mom and dad that's telling you to leave me, then you have to leave me. Like, your immediate family come first before our relationship, First and foremost, God. Second, immediate family. Third, our relationship. This is how I used to talk to my wife, because back then, she wasn't my wife. She was just my girlfriend, yeah? And so I had to make her understand that her family comes first before our relationship. And she obviously understood that, but she was just confused at how her family wouldn't support her, And when I say family, I'm not talking about her immediate family. All her immediate family, which was her parents, her brothers, her sister, they all supported her when she was with me. I'm just talking about long distance family members and friends that she'd had for a long time, yeah? Didn't want her being with me. Now listen to this. There's a big rumor that went around, not only on social media, but also on the news, and then obviously from the police, that I apparently had these millions and millions of dollars, yeah? And someone, all right, had called the police. Let me just decline this person. All right, someone had called the police anonymously, right? And they had told the police, there's a girl named Elizabeth, and then said her last name. I'm not going to say my wife's last name. There's a girl named Elizabeth so-and-so who is driving around with large amounts of cash. This is the reason why the cops kept pulling over my wife. It's because someone in her circle called the police and told them that she has large amounts of money and she was taking it everywhere she goes. This is the reason why she kept getting hit. Those that she considered family were the ones was the one that made this phone call. All right. Now, when I did some digging and I reached out to high-profile people that I knew, they sent back a message to me while I was inside prison, and they said, "Bro, there's a red flag on your wife." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Because she has to be searched everywhere she goes, and it's saying it's because they believe she's always carrying around large amounts of cash. And then when my wife came and visited me, I said to her, "Babe, when you came down here?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Did you ever take your family to my house?" And she was like, "Yeah, like I invited them over and they came and they saw everything that I had, the cars and the stuff that you own, and they were happy for me, And then she was like, "Why?" And I said, "Nah, look, I'm not trying to put down your family or anyone else. Like, If it's your family, I'm going to love your family like it's my family, yeah? But listen to this. No one has ever spoken about large amounts of money when it came to myself or you. So why in the hell that that it came down to the first time that you moved down to Sydney, and then you're surrounded by family and friends who don't want you to be with me, and all of a sudden someone's called up and said, hey, she's driving around large amounts of money. Now remember, a lot of people that was in her circle were very, very jealous because she was living well, but also they were angry at the fact that she was with a criminal. Because remember, you guys, my wife is a full good girl. Now, every guy says that about their missus. My missus is a full good girl. You know, my missus says I'm her first. Like, every guy says that about their girl, yeah? I'm just going to cut it at that, and I'm just going to explain this story so you understand thoroughly what I mean. John Abraham, when my wife went and sat with her, with John, about the movie and the series and stuff that we were talking about, because John Abraham was our connect to Carl Sanderlands, yeah? He said to my wife, he goes, are you sure you want to be a part of all this stuff? And she was like, yeah, I wanted nothing to do with it, but for my husband, like, I'll do what needs to be done, you know? I'm doing my part as a loyal partner. And then she was like, why? And obviously he explained all this stuff that I have already said in my life. But then he said to her, when you come up into the limelight, there's going to be a lot of skeletons coming out of the closet. Are you sure you want to be a part of this? This is what made my wife pissed off when John Abraham said this, you know? She wasn't pissed off at John for saying it. She was just pissed off at the fact that John was actually telling the truth. And now she realized, wow, there is a lot of hate in this world, because John was right. If she was going to be a part of this, a lot of people are going to come on social media and say, mate, Sweetness is full of crap. I remember her when she was partying at this freaking club and she was dancing on the table like a stripper. Or I remember Sweetness was doing this, that. This is the things that John was worried about if my wife Sweetness was going to be a part of this episode. So he was trying to like be there for her, protect her, you know, and protect her image as the good girl. But my wife got upset when he brought it up. So my wife said, you know what? I never wanted to be a part of this, but now that you put it like that, I'm more than happy to be a part of this. And he was like, what do you mean? And she goes, because I promise you, I have nothing to hide. I don't care where my face is. I want it to be everywhere that my husband's face is, because there will be no skeletons coming out of my closet. I have nothing to hide. I have stuck by my husband since I was 18 for 10 years. I stuck by my partner for the last 7 years, and I have nothing to hide. So I am more than happy to be on camera. Wherever my husband wants me, I'm going to be there. And this is my wife. She was that upset that when I called her, she was like tearing up, and she was like, oh my gosh, babe, I can't believe it. And I was like, what's wrong? She was like, John just said something that hit me hard. And I was like, what happened? And she explained it to me, you know, and I was like, far out. I didn't even realize you being on the show was going to bring all that stuff. She goes, no. Don't feel sorry for me. I don't care. She goes, that's why I'm telling you now. Whatever you do, I'm down. She goes, I don't want to be a part of all this rubbish. And she goes, but I'm going to do it because I know for a fact there's going to be no person in my life that's going to pop up and say anything bad about me, because my father never ever let me out of that house without him or without my brothers. So I can honestly say that my missus is a good girl, and for all of you guys out there that also say the same thing about your wives, God willing, they are who you say they are, you know, because you have to make sure you choose the right one to marry. Because my thing was this, I stayed away from a lot of close relationships throughout my whole life, because I wanted to make sure that I married the right one. And like I always used to say to my mom, every time she used to get angry that I hadn't got married yet and I hadn't had kids yet, I used to say to my mom, leave me alone. Like, I only want to get married once, mom. So leave me alone. Like, when I find her, then it's gonna be the one. You know, I don't plan to marry, get divorced, marry, get divorced, married, get divorced. You know what I mean? I only plan to have one person that I marry, and that's it. So my mom left me alone. She never pestered me again about having kids and getting married. So the gist of what I'm saying is everything that my wife went through led up to what happened yesterday when we got searched. All right, she was being harassed. Someone in her circle had called up the police and said this rumor, and this set off alarm bells for the police. The police had to do their job, and she was getting searched throughout the whole time, even though she was an innocent girl. Yeah. And now when we got pulled up at the airport, the worst thing that came out of it was after they handcuffed me behind my back, I looked and he started walking towards my wife, because remember, he told my wife to walk backwards. He could clearly see that my wife was pregnant, yeah? And when she was walking backwards, she was standing like this, yeah? And she was walking backwards. He put his gun in his holster, and then he grabbed both her arms, put it behind, and I said, nah, he's not gonna friggin' handcuff a pregnant lady. There's no way he'll do that. What the hell? I looked, and then he pulled out his cuffs, and as soon as he snapped one cuff on her arm, straight away I just started going off, and I started swearing, you know. Okay, are you freaking serious? You seriously gonna handcuff a pregnant, innocent woman? You freaking dogs! I started going off my head. You know, I was handcuffed behind my back. The cop that had me tried to drag me away. I go, you fucking dogs. I go, let her go, bro. Okay, she's freaking innocent. She's pregnant. You fucking dogs. Oh, bro. The way I was going off my head was the old me. You know, that's what I'm known for. Like, the violent me came back out yesterday when I was going off, and deep down I was trying to hold it in, but I just couldn't hold it because my friggin' wife was handcuffed, you know. And I felt so sorry for her. Like, when he handcuffed her, like, he was walking, and I was saying to myself, fuck, bro, like, this is what you freaking get. This is why I keep saying it to all you younger generation out there. You know, everything you do, you know, illegally, or the crime that you commit, it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. Not only to you, but to all the people that you love. So, see, my wife, it's got nothing to do with nothing, yeah? It's all my rubbish, it's all my bullcrap from my past, yeah? But guess what the repercussions was? It wasn't on me, it was on my wife. A pregnant lady. This is what these freaking dogs did yesterday, you know? They handcuffed a pregnant lady. Someone who's got no criminal record, someone who's never been in trouble from the police ever, yeah? They handcuffed her, and then they took her to the side, and I was just like going off my head. They were trying to calm me down, and I was still freaking carrying on. And then the cop was like saying to me, bro, you got to bring it down a level. If you bring it down a level, we'll be able to speak to you, you know, on that level. He's like, you're up here, mate, you're up here. And I just looked at him, and I was like, don't talk to me, you friggin' dog. Okay, I can speak the way I want to speak. Take those friggin' handcuffs off my fucking wife now, you know. And both cops that had me there was about freaking 10 cops searching my car. Mate, tomorrow I'm gonna film my car, yeah? You should see my car. It's friggin' ripped up everywhere. So this is now, remember, I'm happy to get searched, all right? This is the rubbish that I have to put up with because of the stuff that I did in the past. But when you guys see my car, you're gonna freaking spin out. So now I'm sitting here thinking, all right, you can search me whenever you want. You can do what you need to do to me. But you've gone out of your way now to handcuff my pregnant wife. And then now you've ripped up my car. Who's going to pay for all the stuff that happened to my car? Like, everything on my car has been ripped open. And I was like looking at the car, and I was like, say, swear. Fuck, yeah, I know you can do whatever you want. I go, but all right, now that it's all ripped apart, are you going to pay for it? Like, you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. And if I take it to my lawyer, and I say to my lawyer, listen, I want to take these kinds to court so they can pay for my car being ripped out, guess what's going to happen? I have to pay for the friggin' the lawyer fees, and then I might not even win because the judge could turn around and say it was a justified search. You got an FBI order. They can do whatever they want. How the hell am I going to freaking win? You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, to all you younger generation out there that's running amok, don't listen to me. I don't care if you don't listen to me. I'm just telling my story with the hope that you guys learn from it. Learn from this, guys, yeah? Everything I did in the past, all the good that I do today does not matter, yeah? Doesn't matter how much good I do. Doesn't matter how much charity work that I do. My past will always catch up with me. And the things that that I am going through right now that I consider harsh, I have to put up with it. You know, it doesn't matter if it happened to my pregnant wife. It doesn't matter if it happens to my parents. This is because of me and the rubbish that I did in the past. And whatever happens to yourself and your family in the future, remember Trigg's words. It's because of you and you only. You know, this is why I bring all this stuff up. When I was going off my head, I seen this guy in dressed up nicely. He walked over and straight away I knew that he was the boss, yeah? And I yelled at him and I was like, "Oi, you the boss, yeah?" And he was like, "Huh?" And I go, "You the boss, yeah? Take my freaking the handcuffs off my wife." And as soon as I yelled at him, I didn't think the boss realized my wife was handcuffed, you know, because she was standing like this next to the wall. And as soon as I started yelling, I go, "You're the boss, yeah?" I go, "Fuck, take the freaking handcuffs off my wife. You freaking serious? A pregnant lady, innocent woman like that." And he was looking at me and looking at her, looking at me, and then he looked at her and then he walked over to her. And when he walked over to her, that's when I seen him take the handcuffs off her. And that's actually what settled me down, was that the handcuffs were taken off her. You know, so obviously, like, I'm thankful that a freaking smart cop was there, because not one person who was there during the search yesterday even spoke up for my wife. Like, they don't understand the stress, you know, the anxiety that they put on my wife yesterday. Like, what happens if she loses the baby because of it? Well, you know what she went through yesterday? By the time I was able to hug her when they let unhandcuff me, she was full shaking, yeah? And I was like, "Are you right?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm good, babe, I'm good." Like, she was trying to reassure me that she was okay, but I could clearly tell that she was shook, you know? And I know that she wasn't shook because of the police. I know that it was me that gave her that anxiety and that stress, because when I was going off, I could see in her eyes, she was like, "Please stop, please be calm, because I don't want you going back to prison." We were both looking at each other when I was going off my head. I love you and I appreciate you. And I just couldn't calm myself down, you know, like it was just hate in my heart was coming out, and I just wanted to friggin' turn back to the old me, you know. And thank God that cop who was in charge walked over and unhandcuffed her, because I was still in verbal altercation with both these cops, you know, and I was saying stupid things that I shouldn't have been saying, you know. Like, there was something that happened inside prison, all right? For those of you who don't know, if you want to get time off your sentence, you can do deals with the police where you hand in guns, or you can hand in large amount of drugs or drug labs. What else have I heard of been handing in? You can tell them about containers that's coming in that's filled with illegal stuff in it. If you have information on this type of stuff, the police would be willing to write up a certificate that could help you get a shorter sentence. This is how it works, all right? Now, a lot of these things that happen inside prison, a lot of boys got shit deals. All right? I know for a fact that one of the Elmadines handed in a lot of guns. I'm not going to say which Elmadine it was, and all he got was 2% off his sentence. Like, you might as well just keep your gas. Like 2% 2%? Seriously, like when he told me about this, I was like, wow. Now listen to this, yeah? These terrorists on the inside, they were gonna, they wanted to hand in illegal machine guns, yeah? And one of the things that they had was rocket launcher. Now, they were trying to do a deal with police way before I met them, yeah? And then when I met them, they explained it to me thoroughly, and I said to them, look, maybe I can help you guys swindle a move so you guys can get some time off your sentence. And one of these guys was locked up for terrorism charges, and he was explaining to me that he had nothing to do with what he was charged with. He said, yes, the group that he was with, they were people that he hung out with every day, but he got dragged into this group once they started arresting everyone. And for those of you who don't know, there's this thing called a joint criminal enterprise. It means if you're with that group, doesn't matter what your role is in that group, you will get charged with whatever they got charged with. So I think this law came in a while back, but I'll give you an example. I don't know if this law was in effect at the time it happened, but I'll just give you an example, yeah? There were these boys who were locked up for shootings. A lot of killings happened back then, yeah? And they all got life. So Eddie Darwich got life. Ramsey Awad got life. And this was during the Razak and Darwich drama. There was a massive drama back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was locked up with all these guys, yeah? And during one of the big Uding shows, this thing is also on Gangs of Oz. So if you want to see it, all you got to do is type in Gangs of Oz on YouTube or whatever, and you'll see the Darwich and Razak war, yeah? All the guys that got life, all right, it is what it is. But guess what? You know the driver? I'm not going to mention his name, but the driver got like over 20 years. So he didn't even do this, yeah? He was just the driver, and he got 20 years. And this is why I keep telling all you younger generation out there, you know, you think you're not going to get time because you're doing the lower rank stuff like dropping off or picking up or doing things like signing contracts for loads that are coming in. These are low rank things to do, you know, like they'll get the innocent guy to go and sign paperwork because he's got no criminal record, and he's thinking, oh man, I'm going to get paid $10,000 because I'm signing off on this. My name's on it. Whatever comes in has got nothing to do with me. Mates, joint criminal enterprise, buddy. You're going to get charged, and you're going to get time, and you're going to get a long time. That's what I'm saying, you know, like the brother inside, like he did get 5 years off his sentence because his sentence was excessive. But what? Let's say he got over 20 years, yeah? 5 years off that, 15 years to go. There's still 15 years just for being a driver. You tell me, what, you really want to be a driver for boys that are going to do these, and you go inside prison, leave your family behind, you know, for 15 years just because you wanted to show how loyal you were? Like, hey, I'm not talking down about these guys. You know, they gangstered on, and I know exactly what the war was over. I'm not going to bring it up because it was none of my business. But this brother, he was there through thick and thin with his boys. He kept his mouth shut. He's doing his time like a man, and I'm pretty sure he gets out next year or the year after. You know, I've got nothing bad to say about the guy, you know. But guess what? His role was very, very minute. And he copped a friggin' whack. What about that? So, to all you younger generation out there that's in and amongst everything right now, running amok, get it through your thick head, that law, yeah? Joint criminal enterprise. Doesn't matter if your mate murdered that person. If you're the driver, or if you're freaking the one that provided the gas, you're gonna be copping a whack. You may not get as long as them, but you're gonna cop a whack. I'm telling you. And that's why I bring this stuff up, because I heard this dumb idiot the other day. I'm not gonna bring up his name here. He was talking about me, and one of my followers sent me this video, and he was saying, that Triggz, I really don't mind him, man. I love listening to his stuff, but far out, he talks too much. Like me and him, we done time like men. Me and him, we've been there and we've done it. Me and him, we gangstered on. So I don't know why he's talking the way he's talking. Like, he should know very well that that this is not the way you should be. And he goes, I understand he's trying to help the younger generation, but why are you outing like so much things? When I was listening to this fool, I thought to myself, you know what? Let me see who this bloke is. I got this guy's profile, sent it to my people. Within 5 hours, my people found out who he was, and this guy is the biggest flop. Yeah, he was never a gangster. He's not a somebody, and he's never been involved in nothing. The guy is the biggest flop. Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, I don't care who he is, and I don't care at the fact that he talked himself up being on my level. What I care about is the fact that he's opened his mouth just to get a bit of clout. Yeah, he's using my name in his little speeches or his little rants just so he could get a bit of followers, but he's ruining what I'm trying to do for the younger generation. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to like he went to the lengths of saying that I believe wholeheartedly that Triggz is not a snitch, but I just don't like the way that he talks. And I was like, oh my God, shut the hell up. Like, but if you walked in my shoes and you survived, then yeah, please, say my name and say what you gotta say, But if you haven't done what I've done, and survived it, and when I say survived it, I'm not talking about all the gang related stuff that I've been through. Yeah, I'm talking about surviving the fact that a lot of my friends became drug addicts. A lot of my friends have died. A lot of my friends are doing life in prison, and if they're not doing life, they're doing over 10 years. I survived that. That's what I call survival, yeah? God gifted me with my freedom. And for the fact that I consider these things survival, this is because I am now older and wiser. Like, you're a little kid when you're saying you survived wars, when you survived if you're not gonna stand with me and help me be there for the younger generation, then just leave me alone and let me do what needs to be done. I got big love and respect for all my followers and all my supporters, because they're always trying to protect me. They're always trying to look after me. There's so many people that message through, if you need anything, if you got any charity work that we can help out. And all of you saw what I did the other day for the 95-year-old lady Sylvia, when I went there with Liam and mowed her lawn and did all that stuff. Mate, I've never done that stuff in my life, but I went there and did it because I wanted to give back, yeah? I didn't go there and do it for notoriety. I didn't go there and do it with the intention to film. We actually got there and I didn't have a cameraman, and Liam was like, hey, we should film this on our mobile phone. He gets just make something a post because you haven't posted in 3 days, which was the truth. I hadn't put up anything in 3 days, and I'm not the type to care about stuff like that. But my people, they're so protective over me. They want me to keep the momentum going. Even businessmen that are very successful in my circle, they've taken me to dinner and they've told me, Pete, please, bro, what you're doing for the younger generation is amazing. You need to keep the momentum going, bro. You can't be lazy. If we have to come out and help you, create content that'll help the younger generation, then we'll do it, But you can't just make it pop off and then just let it go. You know what I mean? So this is why I thank each and every one of you out there who stick by me through thick and thin, because without you guys, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now. And especially all the loved ones that I have closest to me, you know. When my wife and I went through that crap yesterday, all my closest loved ones were the first ones to reach out. I had no mobile phone. My car was full thrashed. I dropped my wife off to the airport after she was unhandcuffed, and I could tell she was still shaken up. And the first thing she said to me was, "Thank you, babe, for maintaining composure. You know, I didn't want you getting locked back up." And so, my thing is, I just need everyone to understand that when I'm on here speaking and putting my head on show, it's because I'm trying to give back. It's not because I'm trying to win some battles or because I'm trying to make it to the TikTok red carpet. I don't give a damn about any of that rubbish. I'm only on here putting my head on show, is because I'm trying to help, you know. And that's why I'm really looking forward to all this stuff that's going to be coming out on YouTube, because we've put in a lot of hard work, and God willing, it comes to fruition. Yeah, 500k likes. Let's go. But yeah, everyone that's looking forward to the kidnapping saga part 2, it's coming. Like everything is picture perfect. We did lose a few things which I wasn't expecting to lose, but it doesn't matter. It still looks pretty cracker the way it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for you as well, actually.
Oh, what is? I was already did them yesterday.
What's that?
What do you need?
Just chat to you. You got a second or not?
I'm happy to come.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Let me see.
You spoke to the 2 helicopters from Raptor yesterday, right?
A whole heap of them, yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit of an altercation or something between the two of you guys, wasn't there?
No, there was no altercation.
No?
No.
Mate, just the same questions as yesterday, pretty much,
Yeah.
man. So you're residing here now, are you?
No.
No?
No. This is
Just here for...
live.
Pardon?
Lives, like doing the the lives with the boys.
Live.
This is
TikTok lives.
my manager.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Just doing our social media content.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
And how is everyone affiliated to this address?
No one's affiliated to this address. No one lives here.
So-
Henry doesn't live here. I don't live here. Like, we just do our content here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And when we do our content, we leave.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Mate, well, we're just going to ask you, are you concerned for your welfare at all?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Not worried about any of the shootings, tats happening around?
No,
No.
I'm good, bro.
Do you have any knowledge of all the shootings and why they're going on?
Yeah. I've been seeing it all on the news.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to tell us about it at all?
No, not me, bro.
Maybe not with your Facebook Live on?
No, I got nothing on, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. But I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to ask it while it's live because they might hear about stuff about your past that you probably don't want Instagram Live knowing about.
Look, I've got nothing to hide. Uzi, you want to put it back that way? I've got nothing to hide, so I'm good. Yeah, I just dropped it. I don't want to get as for me.
Mate, look, just like obviously you know the go. There's no direct threat to your life, but obviously being involved in the stuff that you guys are involved in, there's inherent risk to you guys.
Yeah.
Mate, you don't feel worried about your welfare, anything like that.
No,
And you know to reach out to us in the event that you do.
Yeah.
Don't need to, to not call us if you think it's going to sound like, you know, the type of asking for help from the cops.
No, I appreciate it. I'm
Help
good.
me.
I'm good as well, yeah.
Right. Do you have any questions for me today at all, mate?
No, I'm good, bro. Like, chill out.
Get back to it. But if you do decide that you want to speak to us about anything of note, please obviously call the 131444 or the channel hotline numbers there. Give a call if you have anything you want to tell us.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, David. So we were coming here to speak to your brother, he doesn't live in Henry.
Nah.
And he's not here tonight.
He doesn't live here at all.
Yeah, but he's not here tonight with you guys.
Nah, but the last time we came with him was 2 days ago.
Yeah. And you don't know. You don't have to tell us where he put it.
I actually don't know. I've never been to his house. Only person who
You're not the suburb. No.
My brother Henry and my brother Stevie are the two that we use his address in.
Yeah. You don't have to tell us, mate. I'm saying,
obviously telling you.
you honestly don't know where it is.
No, I don't know where he is.
Not even a second.
The cops already know. He's at what you call Zoom calls like every day.
Yeah, okay. Oh, man.
The cops were there yesterday when he was there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Take it easy, yeah?
Alright, let's see bro.
See you around.
The camera. Give me 1 sec.
Wow. Wow, Bro, I just had Raptor knock at this door. They weren't looking for me, but they were asking about my brother. They want to know where my brother is, where my brother's living. They already knew about the incident that happened yesterday. But they wanted to know who owns this house, and I was explaining to them that one of my close brothers owns this house. It's not me. And they wanted to know that if I'm still residing at my address, and I was like, yeah, I do reside at that address, but this is where we do our lives. Like you know, when I always say thank you at the end of all my lives to all my sponsors and whatnot, like this is where we come to do our lives. It's only in one spot, so all the equipment and stuff here is all equipment for lives. Sorry, but I already explained it to everyone what happened yesterday when I got arrested. But yeah, who just turned up now is Raptor, and they already knew what happened yesterday. But for some reason, they're looking for my brother, 212 Heat. I don't know what that's about. Yeah. And they were talking to me about shootings that was happening around the area. And they asked me if I know what happened with the shootings, and I said, yeah, like I've been seeing it all over the place. And they asked me if I have any issues or any reason that I have any fear for my safety, and I was like, nah, I'm all good. And then he goes to me, look, I'm not trying to say that you're in jeopardy for any type of reason. All I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of shootings going on, and he goes, and your guys are known for a lot of dangerous things. That's why we just want to make sure that you guys are not involved in anything. I said, nah, bro, I just do my lives. I just have a laugh with my followers, and that's it. They actually weren't aggressive like the police yesterday, but for some reason they just kept asking me, where's my brother? Where does he live? Like, what's going on? But you know what? I'll be honest with all of you, because I actually don't know where my brother 212 Heat lives, or even my other brother, Skivvy. There was something that my brothers and I had always done in the past, and that was we always kept our private lives private. So we never told each other where we lived, but we would always have a certain spot that we would meet up at. And this house here is actually just a house where all the boys go live at. When we do content, the brother that's sitting next to me, he's the one that helps put all this equipment together, you know, because obviously I don't know how to do any of this rubbish. No, it was obviously it was New South Wales Police, but it was Raptor. And for all of you that don't know who Raptor is, all of you are in other countries that don't know what Raptor is. Raptor is like the guys that kick your door down and kick your head in. So yeah, I could have been copying that, and there's nothing I could say about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, for some reason they're very worried about the community right now because of all the shootings that's been happening, and they just wanted to make sure that that my guys were not part of all the stuff that's happening. I was like, mate, we got nothing to do with nothing, you know. But yeah, freaking weird, eh? Yeah, it's something that they ask everyone if you have any even if it's not gangsters, they always ask people, are you alright? You know, if you have any worries about your safety. But yeah, it was just freaking weird because I think he was just saying that for the sake of saying it, but he just kept going back at, what about your brother 212 Heat? Are you sure you don't know where he is? Are you sure you don't know where he lives? Like, that's what they kept saying to me, you know? So I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, 100%. But it's not hard to find my location because my phone number is under my real name. So all they got to do is go in their system and track my phone number. And I already knew that. Like, I could have left this phone behind and used another phone to go live, but I always use this phone to go live because I got nothing to hide. I don't care if they search me, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But yeah, when they asked me if I'm abiding by my parole, and I said, yeah, of course I'm abiding by my parole, but they really want to know where my brother is. I don't know why, but it's a bit weird, eh? Yeah, 100%. Look, I don't mind talking to police because I got nothing to hide. You know, that's what I always say to all of you and all the younger generation. If you're doing the right thing and then you got nothing to hide, who cares if the cops are coming and wanting to chat to you about things that are going on? This happens to every person that's lived the gang life before. They will always come knocking on your door and asking you, do you know about the shooting? Do you know about the Erdemeys? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? That's what they do. You have nothing to worry about, bro. Yeah, look, I know I've got nothing to worry about, brother, but at the end of the day, I just freaking remember, guys, these guys can freaking search me wherever they want. So they could have just taken me out of the house and just searched me, but they didn't search me because obviously they're not after me. Yeah. By the sounds of it, they want to see my brother. Yeah, you know what? I forgot to tell you, when I was with when I got searched yesterday with my wife, they told my wife, oh, where's your brother, Peter's brother? So they assumed that my brother was gonna be in the car with me. So yeah. Yeah, I will. As they can track his number. Yeah, like. So for those of you who don't know, inside jail, I was high profile, and I was under this thing called EHS, Extreme High Security. So when I got here, they put me on this freaking rubbish as well, you know, to make sure they keep track of me. So my phone numbers, everywhere and anywhere I go, the police are always watching me. And I told you guys, they're always following me, but I don't care because I'm doing the right thing, you know what I mean? Ah, look at that. Freaking 100,000 likes. Yeah, Team Triggz. Yeah, Team Triggz. It is what it is with Triggz. Ah, bro. This guy, you know what's the funniest thing, guys, that I laugh at is the fact that I gave everyone the opportunity to call in during my birthday to chat about whatever they wanted to chat about, whether they wanted to tell me off or swear at me, carry on. And nobody that called through. Everyone that was talking rubbish during my inboxes or comments, not one person called through to talk to me on my live. Yet everything went quiet after that when I brought it up. And now again, there's little wannabes jumping on board and saying this rubbish. Facts only, love ya. 11 o'clock on the dot. It is what it is. We're number 8. Wow, real. Yeah. To all my loving family out there, and obviously everyone that's been following and supporting, I consider you all family. I love you and I appreciate you guys. We got 1.1 million likes. Plus this 100,000 right here, that's 1.2 million likes. And we also freaking got daily number, hey, what's that? We got league number 1 And daily, I think, hang on, daily number what? Where are we?
It just resets, so it's already put you at daily number 2.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
We were number 8 before the reset.
We were number 8, so we reached number 8. And mind you guys, the whole time that we were here, we were just like making sure that we win the battles. Hey, and we got 14 undefeated, eh? 14 15 undefeated. So 1.2 million likes and 15 undefeated. It is what it is with Triggz. Yeah, you know what? He wasn't very happy with me putting the live up.
Did you check the league matches?
Huh?
Did you check the league matches? You got 2.8 mil points.
What's
You're number 4 on the league matches.
What's that for?
For the league matches for Lifers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So 2 point what?
2.8 mil.
Oh, can I have that? Can I share the thing? Look at that team.
You and Dula 30 equal.
Wow. Who is it? Dula?
Yeah.
Wee. Hey. We're number 4, huh?
Yeah.
On the league matches. Wow. Go to Team Triggz. Yeah, the Team Triggz. But you gotta remember, guys, we're only going live twice a week. All these people that are on here, they go live every single day, you know. Freaking, I don't know how they do it, but they're machines, eh? I swear they're machines. Hey, Ma, mule. Christy, appreciate you guys. Alright, look, I'm gonna end this night because it's been a banger. I enjoyed my time with you guys. I appreciate all the love that was sent through. Everyone got to see Raptor come through as well, so that was freaking weird having Raptor knock at my door during my live. But yeah, it is what it is with Triggz. Hey, but I appreciate you guys. But may you guys have a blessed night. God bless each and every one of you. My love and respect. Thank you very much for everyone that was gifting and to everyone that was tapping it up. You guys killed it. Have a good night's sleep. Thank you again to each and every one of you. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Yeah, the Team Triggz. Yeah, the Team Triggz.